External HDDs and SSDs are commonplace enough that we're sure everyone's at least heard of them. But today, we'd like to talk about their lesser-known sibling, the external graphics card. More specifically, we're talking about external graphics card cases that come with their own power supply and use a Thunderbolt connection. Now, why would anyone want to have a separate case that houses only the graphics card? Well, these cases used to hold a lot of appeal for desktop PCs, most of which have been rendered obsolete, but they're still as popular as ever for laptop gaming. So long as your laptop is stacked with enough RAM memory and has a good enough CPU, an external graphics card, or eGPU, will transform it into a genuine gaming machine. But enough rambling. Let's get to the list of the best eGPU cases 2019 has to offer, starting with the Gigabyte AORUS Gaming Box. Now, this first solution is unlike most others in many ways, not the least of which is the fact that it comes already packed with Gigabyte's very own mini ITX version of the GeForce GTX 1070 GPU. And as you've probably guessed by the mention of the mini ITX, this case is very simple and very compact. It's basically a black metal box with a meshed front through which you can see the graphics card with its cool LED lighting stripes. Other than that, there really isn't much of anything there except for the ports on the back. Now, while it's cool that this enclosure comes with a graphics card already in it, and a pretty powerful one at that, there are ways in which this can be seen as a downside. As you'll see later, most eGPU cases are made to be compatible with most, if not all, full-sized graphics card. So the fact that the AORUS Gaming Box can only accommodate a mini version can lead to some compatibility and upgradability issues down the line. What's more, most mini versions of powerful GPUs have very limited overclocking capabilities, so you shouldn't expect to overclock anything that you fit into this enclosure. Still, these aren't strictly negatives for the AORUS Gaming Box. Unlike the external storage devices, external GPU cases don't generally give much thought to portability, so this small 4.4-pound solution becomes an excellent bargain for anyone who's looking for the freedom to take their gaming rig with them wherever they go. It even comes with a carrying bag specifically made for it. So while it can cause some upgradability issues in the future, the AORUS Gaming Box is the only choice if you're looking for genuine portability. And since most laptops stick to 1080p gaming in the first place, it's highly unlikely that the included mini GTX 1070 will become underpowered anytime soon. Next up, we have an enclosure made by Alienware. And seeing how this is a company best known for their rather expensive gaming laptops, it shouldn't be at all surprising that they've made their own eGPU cases as well. The only thing surprising about the graphics amplifier case is, in fact, its relatively low price tag. Still, it does come with some caveats. Most notably, it was designed to be compatible only with Alienware laptops, as it relies on a proprietary port instead of the standard Thunderbolt 3.0 port. In case you're curious about or interested in this product, there's a list of the compatible laptops down in the description. Also, remember how we've said that most eGPU cases aren't designed with portability in mind? Well, the Alienware Graphics Amplifier is a perfect example of this. It's got a fairly large footprint with enough room to accommodate any full-size graphics card. Plus, it has a very conspicuous exterior with an Alienware logo quite prominent on the front. All in all, you have to meet a lot of conditions to even consider this enclosure. First of all, you need to own one of the laptops listed in the description. And also, you have to not care about the size and portability. But if you meet all of these conditions, then there aren't many eGPU cases as cost-effective as the Alienware Graphics Amplifier. Next up, we have the Akitio Node, a product made by a company that most of you have probably never heard of. Still, this California-based company is nothing if not reliable, and seeing how they deal primarily in storage solutions and external expansion chassis, something like an eGPU case is pretty much their specialty. The Node adheres to the company's overall minimal design philosophy, which ultimately means it's not much to look at. it's just a sheet metal rectangle. It also weighs just over 15 pounds, and that's without the graphics card installed, so we're definitely not dealing with a portable product here. Thankfully, the design team recognized this and added a convenient handle on the back of the case. This didn't transform the Node into a portable eGPU that you can carry across town by any means, but it does help when you need to move the eGPU around the house. Still, if portability isn't a priority, then you'll definitely appreciate how the sheer size of the Node allows it to house almost any full-sized graphics card. The only thing about it that seems like a glaring oversight is the lack of any USB hub on the back. Considering the size of this thing, the barren back does leave the impression that Akitio is holding out on you, particularly since the case is by no means inexpensive. Albeit heavy eGPU case that can handle any graphics card you'd like to throw its way, then the Akitio Node is definitely worth your consideration. And for our next entry, we give you the ASUS RoG XG Station 2. And since ASUS themselves, nor their Republic of Gamers brand needs no introduction, let's jump right ahead and see what the XG Station 2 has to offer. Unsurprisingly, this is a massive eGPU case that perfectly exemplifies what the RoG line is all about. It's got an aggressive, attention-grabbing design that's topped off with some cool RGB lighting, no less. Plus, it sports one of the most genuinely cool-looking designs in the way it opens up almost like a clam to reveal the pearl of a graphics card highlighted on a pedestal. Naturally, it can handle any full-size graphics GPU, and it's even got some extra fans to help out with the cooling. And it also takes connectivity to the next level as well, what with the 4 USB 3.0 ports, 1 USB Type-B port, and an Ethernet port on the back. Still, this isn't a product that many will find appealing, mostly because it also retains the price associated with the RoG brand. And contrary to what the weight of the XG Station 2 may have you believe, this enclosure does not come with a pre-installed graphics card. So unless you really care about aesthetics, or you've just got $500 burning a hole in your pocket, then you'll find most of the other models on this list a bit more appealing. Nevertheless, we had to include it in this list for those of you who are out to build the most high-end looking gaming rig ever. And of course, if you like ASUS, but don't want the gamer aesthetics that the RoG line of products is known for, then the simple ASUS XG Station PRO may be more to your liking. If anything, it more closely resembles the Akitio Node than it does the RoG XG Station 2 thanks to the clean design. And at half the price of the latter. We certainly don't mind that this is the case. Also, while it may leave a smaller footprint than its RoG labeled cousin, it's still more than large enough to fit most full-size graphics cards. Unlike most of the other full-size eGPU cases, however, the XG Station PRO is relatively lightweight, courtesy of the all-aluminum build. Granted, it isn't nearly as richly stacked when it comes to the port arrangement as the RoG XG Station 2, as it only features a single USB 3.1 Gen 2 port in addition to the mandatory Thunderbolt port, but that's to be expected considering the price. So all in all, the ASUS XG Station PRO is an excellent solution for anyone who wants the certified ASUS quality without paying an arm and a leg for it. The aluminum build makes it lighter than most other full-size cases, and its sleek exterior makes it perfect for pairing up with a Mac. It's still not an inexpensive enclosure by any means, but hey, it's ASUS, and at least this way you only have to part with one limb. Razer is another company known for their flashy and expensive gaming peripherals, and in case you didn't know, they also make their very own eGPU cases. Now the first one we'll be looking at in this video is the relatively new Razer Core X, which seems to go against everything Razer is known for. For starters, it's a rather inconspicuous product with a clean black exterior, no RGB lighting, and only the company logo to distinguish it as a genuine Razer product. It also doesn't carry the nausea-inducing price tag that Razer is infamous for. This isn't to say that it's budget-friendly, but it's certainly well below the standard Razer tier price. But what it does have is the certified Razer build quality. The clean design can make it appear a bit diminutive looking on a picture without a banana for scale, but this case is perfectly capable of housing a triple-width graphics card. What's more, its 650-watt power supply will make sure that you're set regardless of how power-hungry a GPU you get. So if what you're looking for is a high-end quality case without the visual pizzazz Razer is known for, the Core X is a perfect pick. Granted, it doesn't come with any additional ports on the back except for the mandatory Thunderbolt port, but this shouldn't be an issue if all you need is a stationary eGPU case. Of course, if you're a fan of the signature Razer look, then the Core V2 series should be more to your liking. In terms of size and weight, it's a lot like the Core X, but it manages to make room for a more stylized exterior that's topped up with some gorgeous chroma RGB lighting. Put a right dual fan graphics card inside it and the Core V2 case will resemble an oversized cassette in a strangely cool way. Still, as if in order to make room for the overall cooler aesthetics and the incredibly handy USB hub on the back, the Core V2 did sacrifice a bit in terms of compatibility. Namely, it does not support triple width cards. The list of supported graphics card is still extensive, but you won't be able to squeeze in the thickest ones. Overall, the Core V2 isn't what we'd call a wise investment, as it does carry the $500,000 price tag just like the first ASUS case in this video. And considering that the only real difference between the Core V2 and the Core X are the RGB lighting and the USB hub, and the price difference is $200, well, you do the math. Few eGPU cases can match the Core V2 in terms of visual appeal, but this would have to rank very highly on your list of priorities to make it worth it. And lastly, we have the Sonnet eGFX Breakaway Box. We thought we'd close off this list with a relatively inexpensive case, and the Breakaway Box is an excellent example of what a cost-effective eGPU case can be. It's a relatively light eGPU case with a clean and compact exterior that's decorated with an LED lit logo. It's also compatible with a wide range of GPUs, however, more power-hungry GPUs will demand power supplies that can handle a higher wattage. And just to be clear, only the base model of the Breakaway Box that comes with the 350-watt PSU is the one that we're recommending for its excellent cost-effectiveness. The others are by no means bad, but they cost more than we feel just the higher wattage should warrant. Still, this is a very solid eGPU case, especially if you're not looking to pair it with a high-demanding graphics card. And let's face it, you don't need to have the latest RTX 1080 Ti to make gaming on a laptop viable. The likes of a GTX 1050 Ti are still a huge leap from what most laptops have in terms of graphics. The Breakaway Box doesn't come with any special features like a USB hub, but if you need a basic eGPU case and your laptop isn't compatible with the Alienware Graphics Amplifier, then this is the perfect entry-level case. Now all that's left is to pick the right case for you. And really, there are only two questions that you need to answer in order to arrive at the perfect model. The first question is simple. Do you game on a desktop PC or a laptop? The appeals of pairing an eGPU case with a laptop are very apparent, but pairing it up with a desktop PC is also not unheard of, especially if you have a smaller computer case that can't support your gaming ambitions. And then there's also the case of the gamer who has both a laptop and a desktop PC. If this is you, then the appeal of being able to use the same graphics card on whichever device you're using at the moment should be immense. That the Thunderbolt 3 isn't as good as a PCI Express connection, so there might be some performance gap. And the answer to this question will carry over into the second, which is, do you prioritize power or portability? As you've noticed, external graphics cards aren't really designed with portability in mind. Even the heaviest of these models won't be a problem to move from one room to another, but if you'd like to carry your GPU with you at all times, then the Gigabyte AORUS gaming box is the only real choice. Sure, it may not be the most powerful solution, but considering that you can get a pre-installed graphics card that's pretty powerful and a cool carrying case, the eGPU itself is incredibly cost-effective. If, on the other hand, you need power, then you're left with plenty of choices that are excellent, so just let your wallet do the thinking. And that about does it for this video. Again, we'd like to remind you that most of these eGPUs are only empty shells and that you will have to purchase a graphics card separately. So if you're in need of a good graphics card, check out some of the links in the descriptions that will lead you to our guides on graphics cards. And if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and you can also click on the bell icon if you'd like to get notified every time a new video gets uploaded. In the meantime, may your games be fun and your losses few. And as always, we'll see you next time on Gaming Scan.